Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the all compassionate, the all merciful. Welcome back. In this episode, we are going to be analyzing Ghazal 5 from Divan Shams Tabrizi. Rumi starts this Ghazal. This Ghazal is full of symbolism. He starts this poem by this particular couplet. آن شکل بین، وان شیوه بین، وان قد و خط و دست و پا. آن رنگ بین، وان هنگ بین، وان ماه بدر اندر قبا. See that form, see that style. That is, observe that form, observe that style. See that stature, face and hand and foot. See that color, see that grandeur, see that full moon in robe. In this poem, Rumi is using human-centric words and remarks to talk about different divine manifestations. He's saying, look at that height, look at that stature, look at that face, look at that beauty. Look at that moon that has come in this beautiful robe. He says, the divine essence manifests in different forms, different faces, different patterns. And Rumi is playing with all these beautiful words to imply the diversity of divine manifestations. The divine takes up different masks to show himself, once as a moon, once as a flower, once as a garden, says Rumi. In the second couplet, he's gonna take that even further. از سرو گویم یا چمن، از لاله گویم یا سمن، از شمع گویم یا لگن، یا رقص گل پیش صبا. Shall I speak of the cypress or the grass, of the tulip or the jasmine? Shall I speak of the candle or the lamp, or of the dance of the flower before the breeze? Again, Rumi is using words, this time from nature, not from humans, to talk about divine manifestations. If some wish to take the first couplet as Shams Tabrizi, as reference to Shams Tabrizi, which some people like to do so much to satisfy their personal interests, what would be their answer to the second couplet? If they were in reference to Shams, then what happened here? Here we don't have human-centric attributes and names. Here we have nature-centric ones. But anyways, that's just too shallow to deal. Rumi is referring to the cypress, the grass, the candle, the dance of the flower before breeze. Again, referring to the diversity of divine manifestations in the world. God decorates the world with different masks that the essence is wearing to show himself. As we can see, unlike the first couplet and the second couplet, and we actually see this all over his poems, Rumi is nature-centric, but he doesn't stop at that nature level. He's not one of those poets who just take nature as God and do not go beyond nature. He loves nature. He uses natural things in his poems all the time, but he is theocentric, that is, he's God-centric. Nature is nothing but a manifestation of God for him. He's not occupied with the material aspect of nature. In couplet 3 we have ای عشق چون آتشکده در نقش و صورت آمده بر کاروان دل زده یک دم امان ده یا فتا. O love, like a fire temple, you have come in design and form. You have struck the caravan of the heart, granted a moment's peace. O valiant one, O noble one. Throughout this poem, Rumi is speaking to God, the divine beloved. But from this couplet on, he brings in the name love. When he says love, he means God. And he's more explicitly talking about God. He says, you're like a fire temple. Be the Zoroastrian aspect of that marked for later discussion. Not later, I'm going to get back to it quickly, but just before that. He's saying, oh love, oh my beloved, you have appeared in different form and different designs. You have stolen my heart, you have stolen our heart, the seeker's heart, and you have plundered us. We have nothing left. Please, oh please, give us just one moment so that we can find ourselves. Oh, the noble one. Here he uses the word fatah. Fatah comes from fatawat in Farsi and in Arabic. It means helping others unconditionally, like regardless of their race, religion, kind of like chivalry-oriented meaning. It says, oh fatah, or oh my beloved, please show some mercy, give us a moment of rest. Now, why does he use the word atashkadeh, that is fire temple? Rumi associates the word love with fire all the time, but one of the reasons he's doing that is that fire represents light. And in Zoroastrianism is much misunderstood religion. The prophet of this religion and the initial followers of this religion never ever worshipped fire. They were seeing fire as a symbol of God because it was light. They were seeing light, they were seeing fire as a symbol of something much greater, in the same way that Rumi and Ibn Arabi and almost all Sufis see the world, everything in the world, as we see in this poem, the tulip, the rose garden. They see everything as the manifestations of God. It doesn't mean that they are worshipping the tulip, but throughout history you have seen that they distorted Zoroastrianism in a way that people think of it as worshipping fire. It was never the case. And this matter has actually Quranic roots. The Quran says, Allahun nuru samawati wal ard. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. So Rumi's association of the word fire and love has Quranic support as well. Couplet 4 is one of my favorites. در آتش و در سوز من شب می برم تا روز من ای فرخ پیروز من از روی آن شمس الضحی. In fire and burning I carry my night into the day. I am fortunate and victorious by the light of that bright sun. What is he saying here? I am burning in the fire of his love every night. People who have been following this channel for some time are only too well aware that Rumi is a night-focused person, and it's all over Islamic tradition. Many of the graces come at night. When people discard that comfort, sleep, that the grace is more well-deserved at night, and especially at dawn in Islamic tradition. And Rumi is a great follower of that. در آتش و در سوز من شب میبرم تا روز من. In the burning of that fire, the fire of divine love, my nights turn to days. That is, I am burning of love. I'm having that dialogue. I'm having that connection, that divine unity at night until morning. ای فرخ و پیروز من از روی آن شمس الضحی. I am victorious because of that bright sun. I'm victorious because the divine essence manifests in multiple forms, multiple masks at night until the morning. Another beautiful couplet, number 5, Rumi says, بر گرد ماهش میتنم بی لب سلامش میکنم خود را زمین بر میزنم زان پیش کو گوید سلام. I weave myself around its moon, offering greetings without lips. I throw myself to the ground before he calls me forth. I weave myself, that is, I circle around his moon. That is, I circle, I long for, I am restless for that being. I'm restless for his beauty. I'm restless for his manifestations when he's showing me that grandeur, that beauty. I have seen that before, I want to see it again. And I'm impatient now, I want to experience that. The first part says, بی لب سلامش میکنم. I send him my greetings but without lips, meaning that I'm calling on him from my heart, not by words. خود را زمین بر میزنم زان پیش کوید اون سلا. I throw myself on the ground. There is a fine point here. It's very elegant. In Rumi's, let me first translate and I will explain. It says, I throw myself on the ground before he tells me to come. Why does he do that? In Rumi's thought, divine grace shines most brightly after suffering, after challenges. We have this from the Quran as well. Verses 155 to 157 of the Surah Al-Baqarah, that is the second chapter. God says, we test you with difficulties, with the death of your soul, body, etc. When you exercise patience, you will be blessed. I just summarized the three verses. It's all over Rumi's thought. The brightest divine grace, especially divine love, follows challenges. So broken people who are afflicted, will receive greater divine intimacy. And that's why Rumi is throwing himself on the ground. Say, I throw myself on the ground before he calls me, because I know that if he comes to the broken ones, he comes to the afflicted ones. That's why he's doing that. In couplet 6 we have گلزار و باغ عالمی چشم و چراغ عالمی هم درد و داغ عالمی چون پا نهی اندر جفا. You are the rose garden and meadow of the world, the light and sight of the world, yet also the pain and burn mark of the world when you tread upon cruelty. The rose garden, and all similar sounding words in Rumi's thought refers to the divine world, to the world of uluhiyat, divinity. But we don't need to get into technicality. Let's call it for now the reality of the material world. He's saying that you are the reality of this world. This world is but a reflection, but a manifestation of you. But you're beautiful. You show yourself in different beautiful masks. Yes, and then he's playing with the paradoxes. It says, yes, but also you are a pain. You're a real. You bring us real pain. You bring us real challenges when you want to test us. The difficulty is not that you're enjoying hurting us. It's just that you're testing us through trials, again with Quranic roots. That's what this couplet is saying. This is one of the finest couplets that you will see from Divan. Couplet 7, right? 7, yeah. Couplet 7 says, آیم کنم جان را گرو گویی مده زحمت برو خدمت کنم تا واروم گویی که ای ابله بیا. I come to pledge my soul, but you say, do not trouble me, do not bother me, go away. I regret, he's saying, I serve you, and then I said, okay, I will not come to you. I serve you, and when I wish to leave, you say, oh fool, come. Rumi is saying that sometimes I want to come to you and you're playing hard to get. Again, as a form of trial, because in Sufism it is believed that, let me put it this way, Rumi specifically says in Divan that the moment you say I'm in love with God, trials will start. Love is the greatest treasure, the greatest divine treasure. And he says in a beautiful poem, it's like an emerald, which is guarded by sorrow. And that sorrow, he is using the symbol of dragon in that poem. He says, like, in order to get that emerald, you're going to go through that dragon. In order to get divine love, you're going to have to go through challenges. And putting me under challenges, putting me under trials, for the purposes of trials, when I come to you, you say, go away, I don't want you. The same thing that happened with Shams Tabrizi as well. First he rejected Rumi. And then when I get disappointed when I get, okay, I'm hopeless now. He's not gonna accept me. When I get to that point, after I serve you, let's say I'm praying, I'm praying, or I'm doing some ritualistic things. After I finish it, after I serve you, after I do something, after I serve you, I say, okay, I'm gonna leave it at that and go away, because he's not gonna open that door. And it is at that particular moment that you say, you fool, come back. Meaning that go away wasn't real. It was much like the anger of a mother towards the child, saying, go away, I don't want you. 10 minutes later, she calls her back lovingly. So that was not real when I said, go away. I wanted to test you. I wanted to make you a better person through these trials. I want you to prove yourself to me, whether you are a real lover. That's why I tested you. Don't go away. Come here. This is going to be repetitive, but every couplet is amazing in this poem. This poem is haunting me. We have couplet 8. گشت خیالش هم نشین با عاشقان آتشین غایب مبادا صورتت یک دم ز پیش چشم ما. It's amazing. His image has become the companion of burning lovers. May your face never be absent, not even for a single moment. By khiyal, by image, again, he's referring to divine manifestations. Those who have gone through the trials of love finally have your manifestations. You tested them, you put them under trials, and then you showed yourself, you unmasked yourself. گشت خیالش هم نشین با عاشقان آتشین. His manifestations accompany the fiery lovers. They have passed through all these challenges. That's why, as a reward, they have as their companion divine manifestations. غایب مبادا صورتت یک دم ز پیش چشم ما. Again, the dialogue between a lover and the beloved. May your face, may your manifestation, may your face never be absent from our eyes, even for a single moment. Because if you don't show yourself to us, this life means nothing. He says this on multiple occasions, especially in Divan, that life without the divine beloved is not worth living. He says, and he calls upon God saying, if you don't want to show yourself to me, just end my life. I cannot tolerate it anymore. I don't want to live without you. So much so that he's willing to offer his life. Kill me or show yourself. Couplet 9. ای دل قرار تو چه شد وان کار و بار تو چه شد خوابت که می بندد چنین اندر صباح و در مسا. O heart, where is your peace? That is, what happened to your peace? And what has become of your affairs, your worldly affairs? Who binds your sleep so in the morning and in the evening? He's having this self-dialogue. The love, divine love, has transformed his life. Let's put it this way, has distorted his life in a positive sense, so much so that he cannot remember his old life anymore. He says, I'm always restless. And he's in awe, in wonder. Oh heart, what happened to you? What happened to your worldly engagement? What happened to the trivial things that you would do all the time? What happened to them? What happened to your sleep at night? Who, if not God, the divine beloved, stole your night? Who can keep you awake at night, every night, if not the divine beloved? In couplet 9, Rumi asked his heart, what happened to you? What happened to your previous life? What happened to your sleep? And in couplet 10, his heart answers him. دل گفت حسن روی او وان نرگس جادوی او وان سنبل ابروی او وان لعل شیرین ماجرا. The heart replied, he asked his heart about the cause of all this restlessness. And the heart replied, his radiant face, that is the divine beloved's radiant face, his enchanting narcissus eyes, the hyacinth of his eyebrows, his ruby lips filled with sweet words. Rumi's heart replies to him, in his iconic self-dialogue that he loves to do so much in his poetry, presenting his thoughts that way through dialogues with himself. The cause of my restlessness, my sleep going away, and all the things you're asking me why they happen, the cause is different forms of divine manifestations, meaning that divine knowledge, divine enlightenment change your life for good. It changed your life from the mundane life it was to one with higher values, to a degree that you even yourself find yourself to be called towards certain things. In couplet 12, Rumi turns to his love, that is the divine beloved. Rumi refers to God as divine beloved, and at times it directly refers to God as love. And here we have seen that in this poem he's also doing that. He turns to love, saying, ای عشق پیش هر کسی نام و لقب داری بسی من دوش نام دیگرت کردم که درد بی‌دوا. O love, among all people you have many names and titles. Last night I called you by another name, the pain without cure. Love takes many forms, and it is important to realize that the love Rumi speaks of is not the love we know in the general meaning of the word. It is not an emotion, it's a cosmic force. But again, we cannot exhaust its definition. In Sufism, it is a strangely transcendental force. For example, Ibn Arabi, let me bring his text. Ibn Arabi says, whoever defines love, he has not known love. And if God has not made you taste love, you will not understand it. Even Sultan al-Ulama, Rumi's father, had the same view. Somebody asks him about hub, about love. He says, well, if you don't know love, what should I tell you? If you do know love, what should I tell you? Meaning that if you don't know what love is, if you haven't experienced it, I'm not going to be able to explain it to you because it's an experiential matter. You don't know how it tastes like. And if you have already done it, so why should I explain it to you? And with that in mind, Rumi is saying you have different names. People have looked at you from different angles. But last night, in that ecstatic moment, I had another name for you. Dard bi-dawa, the pain without cure. What is he saying here? Rumi consistently in his poetry says that love cures all pains. But why is he saying that you are the pain without cure? The pains, the diseases of the heart, as Rumi puts it, that we have in this life, like jealousy, immoral traits, these are cured by love, or the superficialities and materialistic orientations in our lives. Love cures all these, yes, but when God brings you, and divine beloved brings you to that intermediary realm, the barzakh between unity and separation, it becomes a pain, the pain of separation. At night, Rumi or a mystic gets to that level that they have that ecstatic union with God. Then they come back to themselves, to their consciousness, and they realize that they are separated. They become mad. There is pain of separation there, and there is no cure. There's nothing more beautiful to satisfy themselves with, or equally beautiful and enjoyable so that they engage themselves with. There's nothing. That's why they have that pain. That's why he's saying here, you are the pain without cure. He's referring to that separation stage in his journey. Couplet 12. ای رونق جانم ز تو چون چرخ گردانم ز تو گندم فرست ای جان که تا خیره نگردد آسیا. O radiance of my soul, I turn like heavens because of you. Send me grain, my beloved, lest the mill be left idle. Rumi considers his flowering, his development and his radiance on the spiritual path as a result of divine love. That's why he says, ای رونق جانم ز تو چون چرخ گردانم ز تو. I am in motion because of your love.
Without your manifestations, without your unveilings to me and to the lovers, our life is in vain. That life is meaningless and aimless. Please continue sending your grace through your manifestations. Please unveil your love to us through your manifestations so that we roll in this life, so that we continue on this path, so that we flourish. The second hemistich says, "Send me grain, my beloved, lest the mill be left idle." In the same way that a mill works based on grain, the system, the mechanism of the lover works with divine love. So there is this great assumption here. The lover's existence depends on divine sustenance, which implies spiritual progress requires continual grace and divine provision, without which the seeker remains stagnant. So it's not that God initiates the spiritual journey and you continue. No, every step of the way requires divine grace and provision. And that's why we are needy towards the needless. And that's why Rumi is always speaking so servantly with his beloved, begging, please help, send your grace. It's not that when you get to Rumi's level, you will be a master that need no grace, need no guidance. This need continues at every step of the journey. The last couplet in this poem says, "دیگر نخواهم زد نفس این بیت را میگوی و بس بگداخت جانم زین هوس افق بنا یا ربنا." I will not speak another breath. Just recite this final verse, he says to himself. My soul has melted from this longing. Have mercy on me, O Lord. Rumi again turns to speaking to himself. Says, say this and enough. In Persian literature, this is called tajreed. That is, the author, the poet talks to himself as if he's talking to somebody else. And he does that quite often. He comes to a point, he says, there's no point of talking anymore. Language will not allow me to go further, so let's stop here, he says. So the assumption being that the lover is overwhelmed to the point of silence, which implies that divine longing reaches a stage where words become insufficient and only silent surrender remains. So he surrenders to divine love. He surrenders to the divine, saying, okay, at this point, my words will not express what I wish to say. They don't have the capacity, so I surrender to you. Please, oh, please help me. Now, other than the points, assumptions, implications that I have been explaining in each couplet, there are other implications and assumptions that I would like to point out before I let you go. So let's get into them. One assumption that we see, especially in the initial part of the poem and in the last couplet, was that Rumi has difficulty trying to explain and describe the experiences he's having, especially when it comes to divine beauty. He struggles to describe the beloved's beauty through worldly metaphors. That's why he alludes to metaphors. The language cannot express and capture those realities, those aspects. That's why he's using symbols and metaphors to allow for some mystery, so that I pointed this out, but it is not all that there is into this matter. And this suggests that divine reality is beyond human language and conceptualization. The second assumption being that love is a consuming force akin to fire. Love is not just an emotion, but a transformative power that burns away the ego, reshaping the lover's existence. Third, the heart is restless due to the beloved's presence and absence. Again, the point I mentioned, the state of separation and unity, that oscillation between separation and unity, which implies that divine love brings both joy and suffering, joy in union, suffering in separation, as the lover oscillates between longing and fulfillment, between separation and union. Next, we have another assumption. The lover willingly submits to the beloved even without being called. He said, I throw myself on the ground before you call me, so that you call me. This implies that the path of love is one of our surrender, where the lover preemptively offers devotion without expectation. So devotion, surrender, and no expectation. That could summarize Rumi's entire spiritual path. Even with Shams Tabrizi, he did not have that expectation. He said, will you be my student? Rumi said, will you be my master? And after playing hard to get, according to dialogues he himself gives us in his Divan, Shams says, okay, you have this, I don't want that. Rumi says, okay, I will put that away. Shams says, you have wings, I will not give you my wings. That is, I will not give you spiritual wings. Okay, I will let go of that. But in none of these steps, go read that poem, in none of these steps, Shams promises Rumi anything. In none of these steps, Shams says Rumi, okay, do this, then I will give you such and such. It doesn't promise anything, and Rumi doesn't expect anything. Next assumption is that love is universal and manifests in different names and forms, and this is important, which implies that divine beloved permeates all existence, revealing itself uniquely to each seeker, which helps us have a broad mind, a broad vision towards the differences in religions, schools of thought, different theories, that there is no one single system capturing everything. We should be tolerant of other systems as well. I hope you enjoyed this poem. I did. And I hope I could clarify what Rumi was trying to say. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.